What is up, guys? It's Quicksilver, and let me see. Today, I think, well, I guess a couple things. I've got a quick little build for you guys today. I don't think it's meaning too super big today. I'm kind of in one of those in-between phases where I'm still kind of trying to figure out the next big project that I want to do with you guys. Have a couple things in mind, but can't really seem to settle on one. I guess when last I left you, I kind of had I had the enderpearl elevator over here completed, but it was kind of a little bit of a state of disarray. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of show it to you here, so you could see what I had done to it. Again, if I just kind of run through this thing, it's kind of nice. It's a little pass-through, so it not only is it an enderpearl elevator, but it actually becomes an automatic floor over a big hole in the ground. So I can actually use it as a enderpearl elevator, but also as a pass-through to build, I guess, out in that direction to some other stuff. And actually, that's kind of interesting. I have an idea for something that I want to build, and this might actually be kind of a neat spot for it. All right. Anyway, that was just something to think about. But yeah, this is how it's turned out. I've gone ahead and put some supports in here as well. Which actually, let's just go down there really quick, and I'll show you that, because I think the build that we're going to do today, we're going to want to be down low anyway. So I'll pop that. Oh, come on, really? Did it from too far away. I'm still trying to figure out the exact timing on that thing to make it work. So yeah, there you go. You can actually, well, you could see the supports there for a brief moment before we got plunged down into the exit tunnel here. So we'll hop through here, and there's the enderpearl elevator from below, and there's kind of the supports. Kind of like how it feels. It's a little bit big and bulky, but I don't know. I wanted something over here that had some presence to it anyway, so I think that accomplishes our goal of that. So let's get a peek at it from over here and see. Yeah. So there you go. It just gives us more of those kind of supports. I kind of like how that feels along with everything else. Just got a lot of vertical kind of movement going on between the waterfalls and all the supports that I've got going on. That I think makes that look kind of cool. So anyway, that is that. The only thing that I have noticed about this enderpearl elevator, I'm not sure if it's a glitch or if it's something that will ever get fixed. But if I'm down here, I'm not going to do it because it seems remotely rare. Maybe we'll get lucky later and see it. Sometimes when I toss a pearl up there, there's a little bit of a weird glitch, and the pistons will close. I guess technically they'd be closing on your foot or your legs or something like that, and you end up being stuck in there, and you just kind of vibrate like I'm doing right now, like you're having some sort of epileptic seizure. But you're stuck. You can't get out of there. You can't do anything other than throw in an enderpearl to get yourself out of there. I've only seen it happen, I think, twice, and I've used this thing a bunch, so I don't think it's a huge deal to worry about, but I never want to get stuck up there with only one pearl. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think right here in this little hillside, I've got a kind of a cool design already in mind for this. I'm going to go ahead and make a little enderpearl dispenser, so that we can come over here and we'll hit a button and we'll have a dispenser right here. Well, you know what, let's just place it so I can start figuring it out. We'll have a dispenser here, and then I'll have a wooden block here with a stone button on it, so it'll be really easy to see. Yeah, cool. I think I actually have everything I need to build this thing too, so that is the plan. So we'll hit a button here, and this thing will spit out 2 enderpearls to us, not just one, and then we can take the enderpearls and we can pop on up there. So before I get too distracted with talking, which you guys I like to do, let's go ahead and dig down here. I think I'm gonna need to dig this down 1, and then the rest of this stuff is gonna go down 2 blocks. So ultimately I'm gonna have a wooden block right here. So let's just start wiring this sucker up. I'm gonna put a dot of redstone dust there. I'm gonna put a torch here, and then I'm actually going to use that so that I can power back here. I'm going to tear out a whole bunch of this land, and I'll just end up putting it all back in here. Now this is dumb. Why am I doing that? I got a shovel. Let's use it, right? I'll throw that back in there temporarily. We're going to build a little hopper timer right here. Probably going to have a bunch of grass down here too. Stupid. There we go. So that is our hopper timer, and that thing is locked. I'll go ahead and just throw a block of wood in there. So that is locked. So in essence, what we're going to do here is when we have our block in here and we hit the button, it'll power that redstone, turn this torch off, which will then let the hopper timer tick-tock back and forth, only as long as the button is pushed. So since we're using a stone button, it's kind of quick, which is how we're just going to get a quick tick, tick, and that's going to give us spit out two pearls for us from there. So that is that. Then let's go ahead and this is going to suck. Oh, wow, they didn't suck it up. I can't believe I actually beat them to it. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to want to tear out right here, and I'm going to throw my comparator here. Well, I don't know what that was, a little jakey thing. So then when our timer tick-tocks back and forth, it's going to send power into this block. So then we want to pull the power out of that block so that we can send it back over to our, I guess, to our dispenser. So it's kind of a neat little build here. So, all right, so that's going to be powered. So if we stick redstone dust down here, that should pick that power up. Then I'm going to throw a comparator, or not a comparator, a redstone repeater here so that we can extend that power as long as we want to go. I'll throw down dust here, and then I'm going to throw down, I think that's right, I'm going to throw this down here, and then a redstone dust on top of that. So by spreading this thing out the way that we've done, we don't end up creating a clock or anything in here, so that we just go tick, 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 and end up with like 15 ender pearls. But I think what we should end up with, and I think that might actually be the end of it. Oh, I can't get back over there now because of that thing. What we should have happen, yeah, good, is again, this gets turned on, this gets turned off, this thing sends power back and forth, should give us 2 ticks, which will then send power into this block twice, and we'll pick the signal up here, send it into this block, where the redstone dust here will pick it up, which will then power this block, and spit out our ender pearl here. And actually, you know what, we're only going to get 1 tick here. The other tick that we're going to get, the other pulse rather, is going to come from the initial button press. So if I'm not mistaken, and I haven't screwed it all up, if I do this, man, this might be a quick video today, guys. If I hit that, we should hear 2 ticks on that thing. There we go. So there's our 2 ticks. Perfect, man. Wow, and that went really, really fast. So I will, let me see here. We'll go ahead and we'll pretty this thing up. Basically, I just don't want to have to worry about mobs spawning in here. I think I can actually block all this stuff in. Yeah, nothing will spawn down there now. Interesting. You know, I thought I was going to have a half slab somewhere here, but maybe not. I think because I'm actually building this thing into the ground. Yeah, that's perfect. While I was building this thing in my contraption world, I didn't have the ground wasn't actually raised up higher, so you can build this thing in the middle of like an open area here. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is where this block is. If you do build that, you have to put a half slab behind this thing up here, otherwise you get cross wiring going from this torch and you end up with a clock right here, and that's not good because it just ticks relentlessly and it never actually does what it needs to. So if we've done everything that we were supposed to, when we hit that, good deal, we still hear 2 ticks. So I'm going to go ahead and load this sucker up, and we'll give it an actual testy test. There we go, we picked up the 1. We should have 2 floaters. Well, actually I had 4 there, so yeah, it looks like we got it. 2 of them are missing from there, 1 here, 1 here. So sweet. Alright, man. Well, now that's great. We've got our dispenser, I guess our ender pearl dispenser here. Once we grow grass back in here, that's going to look really good down here, I think. So, alright, well, excellent. I think I still have a lot of time. Wow, I've never done that with you guys. Let's go ahead and we'll use this thing. Yep, okay, we didn't get stuck, so I don't get to show you that, but trust me, it does happen every now and then. So make sure if you do build this thing, and if you don't know how to build this thing, check out my last video. It's not too tough of a device to build, so yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's pretty reliable, but like I said, just make sure if you do build this, that you build on the bottom side down there. Make sure you've got a dispenser, a double pearl dispenser or something. In fact, I'm almost tempted to remove that button. I could throw down a couple of pressure plates here so that on my way back, as I'm running back, it would automatically kick them out. But I don't know. That might get obnoxious if I don't need them. So anyway, I think I like the button. I'm going to go ahead and go with that. So I guess with that built, man, I can't believe it. I think, you know what we'll do? I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fix the ice farm with you guys here. let me give you a quick recap on this thing and how it works for those of you who are just joining us. This is kind of a kooky thing. I still need to do a tutorial on this thing for you guys. But basically I was trying to take advantage of the 1.7, I think it was. Maybe it was 1.6. I think it was 1.7 when it first came out, and they introduced this little do-jobber here with the snow showing up above block level 90. I thought, hey, that's cool. It's going to snow everywhere here, and as long as I have my water sources above block level 90, which those are, then they'll freeze solid, right? Yeah, and it does work. As you can see, we do have some ice in there. Unfortunately, when I was doing testing in the snapshot, I think maybe one of the early snapshots, pretty much everywhere up here that I tested, water would freeze up. However, when they finally implemented it, and this is the problem with building something before an actual patch has gone fully live, it has something to do with, and I actually reported it as a bug to Mojang, but they wrote me back and said, nope, it's actually acting the way we want it to. There's some kind of weird thing that has to do with the way snow falls, and if there's not snow falling next to a water block, or there isn't the ability for snow to fall there, then water won't freeze there either. So I'm not sure I understand or like the fact that snow is a little patchy. I personally would prefer to see it just everywhere. I mean, it seems to do it on top of the trees pretty good. So anyway, unfortunately they didn't do that, so I am stuck with a problem, which down in my little ice temple, which we'll check out in just a minute when we're fixing this thing, instead of having a whole wall of ice kind of moving down here from every one of these things, I only have these two things reliably going. So it does still work, and basically what happens is the water trench that's here is exposed to the sky, so it has the ability to freeze if it were cold enough to. There's an elaborate timer, really, not even too elaborate back here. I guess I don't need to be up here to show you most of that part. I've got a timer system set up back here that is going off. I forget how many items are in here, but it's like every minute or so, or every 40 seconds, something like that. It sends a pulse through here that then powers up all this stuff and hits all these, turns all these torches on, which then makes these pistons that are underneath the water push up. So if there is any ice on them, then the ice gets shoved up. Then I take the same signal that pushed that stuff up, we bring it up here, we bring it around here, and then we fire it into here. And actually underneath, there you go, you can see that we have some more pistons, just normal pistons, no stickies here, that take the ice that was just pushed up, and like very briefly after, it pushes it out. Since pistons can move 12 blocks, I let there be a little gap, and once it gets around here, that same signal travels around here through some delays, and then these pistons push it down. So what we end up with, if I can actually see it here, yeah, right, I guess we can kind of see it right there. Let me hold down shift. Yeah, excellent. What we end up with here is, I thought I could do it. There we go. What we end up with here is the ice gets pushed up, it gets pushed over, and it gets pushed down. And then 12 blocks below, down here, and that's what we'll check out now, I have, this is the other end of the ice flow. So the ice gets pushed all the way down from the top, all the way down to here. I have obsidian down here so that it can't actually get shoved any further, although I don't think it could anyway. I think this is exactly 12 blocks away. Then I have this wall of pistons, and this was my idea, was that all this stuff would be frozen. This whole wall would just be covered with ice. And then I have a bud switch right here that as soon as something hits this whole wall gets a signal from the bud switch right back here, which was a really cool thing to figure out how to do, let me tell you. But it would push that whole wall out. So the whole idea was as soon as that got pushed out, then there was more room for this stuff to get shoved down. As soon as we got it all shoved down here again, it would hit the bud again, and we'd shove it out. And the idea was this whole area back here would be this giant block of ice. Unfortunately, because Mojang messed with me, I'm going to like hold on to that and blame them, even though it's really my fault. Because they changed the way that works, I only have this little lame thing here. But I still think I want to go ahead, I'm going to shove these things over so that at least I have a 2-block deep wall of ice instead of just a couple here so that I can harvest them. So I think what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to move this bud switch over here, And I guess I'll leave the rest of this stuff here in case they ever change their minds, but at least we'll make this part functional. So let me go ahead off camera, because I'm going to have to tear out a whole bunch of obsidian so that I can move this thing over, and then I think what I can do is just move the whole bud switch thing over a little bit, and I'll do that with you guys so that we can make this thing actually finally work. So I will be right back, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Alright guys, so I've torn that out, and I started to tear this thing out, and I thought, that's dumb, why don't I do this with you guys? So the only thing that I've done is there was a regular piston over here, and then there was a block of redstone right here, redstone block, I guess, actually. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to actually move this thing one block at a time so we can make sure I don't screw this up when I'm rebuilding it. So I guess, first things first, I'll throw that there. That's actually going to be our bud switch. So then underneath that I need to dig out one block down, and I got to throw this sucker in there. Then this block is okay to be here. Now this is going to be the interesting part, is I'm going to have to figure out, and I may have to do this part off camera, we'll see. Depends on how quick I am at figuring this out. I'm going to need to throw, I got to pick up my signal off of right here. So that's going to be kind of weird. Yeah, I may monkey around with this a little bit. But yeah, okay, so that's that. Then the regular piston actually goes right here above that, and that traps us in the hole. So I must have done something right there. So, alright, now when I throw this in there, I think, yep, the whole thing will reset. So at this point, we've got it all set. Now, as you can tell, when I was pulling this thing out, I pulled this block first, and it set off the bud switch and pushed this stuff out. So this will give you some idea how this will work. It's not going to fill up really evenly, but it should over time become a solid mass of ice over here. As soon as this gets shoved down to here, which shouldn't take too terribly long, then we'll get another pulse out, and if I'm lucky, these will both have gone at the same time. I know at least for a little while, if I let this go by itself, it will, because this was completely solid up there. But yep, I think I just heard it fire off, but maybe not. Alright. Anyway, so yeah, now I've got to figure out how to pick up the signal from this thing. Now, like I said, I'm trying to pick it up here, but I'm not sure, since I have this stuff here, how I can effectively do that. Can I throw maybe I can throw a little signal here. Let's see what I can do there. I don't want to mess anything up or short anything out here. Let's get this stuff out of here, because that's just going to confuse me. Do I have any other blocks? Yeah, good. I got some cobble here. I'll fill this gunk in. So alright, ideally I'd like to pick this signal up so I can hide all this redstone. I'm not sure if I can do this like this or not, because if I'm not mistaken, there's a redstone torch under there that's going to make that power up. Nope, maybe not. Oh dude, this could be really cool. Alright. Hopefully I've got that sorted. Let's just figure it out. If I've got this stuff messed up, I'm not going to worry about it too much. If I throw a block right here and I've done everything right, then this should fire off, and hopefully we're not too far away for that signal to reach the piston wall. So let's see. I'm too far away. I'm too far away. Alright, give me just a sec off camera, guys, and I will figure out what I'm not doing right here, and I will let you know what it is and be right back. Okay guys, I think I've gotten this sorted out now. We're about to find out, and if I didn't, then I'll feel really dumb. I didn't realize how far this signal is traveling, so I think I've just gone a little bit too far. So I'm going to try and just throw a repeater in here, about here, and we're going to see if that does the trick. If not, I may just need to move it back a little bit more, but let's find out. Yep. Hello. Oh, okay, so now I have a new problem. That's not annoying, huh? Hang on. We're going to shut this thing up right now. Shut up. Okay, so my new problem is every time the every time this fires off, then that's going to be an issue. So I got to figure that out. All right, guys, I got a head scratcher on me, so I'll take a look at that and I'll figure it out and let you see what I came up with. See you in a few. Okay, guys, here I am back here. Sorry about that. Figured out what the problem was. The problem was this little dooflodger back here. When I threw down my extra repeater in here, I guess that extra tick that I threw into the system gave it just enough to throw it completely out of whack. So what I've done now is the signal was coming back over here 2 blocks further over. Now I've kind of dug it out a little further over here so that since we're detecting it that far over anyway, I don't need to do that, and it's right to the very edge. I'm really lucky. If I needed to take it over this way any further, I would not be able to, because it would start to crosswire with the other piston pushers here. But now when I go ahead and I throw a block down here, we get that instead of the endless loop of obnoxiousness. So that I think resolves this and makes this a functioning ice farm at this point now, at least once this ice all gets pushed down here and hits that thing again. So now I basically just need to get back in here and make this not look like absolute and utter crap again. I'm going to hold out, I think, a little longer in hopes that maybe they'll change their thinking on the ice. If they don't, then I will probably come back in here at some point and tear all 4 of these guys out, or these 4 rows, I guess, of pistons out of here, so that I can move this stuff over and make this look prettier again, because I don't like how this looks right now. And obviously I know I need to fix the hole in the ground that I've got here, but I don't want to have this stuff exposed, and I think the way that I'm looking right now I have to, because as soon as I start trying to put half slabs on top of this stuff to hide it, it's going to get shoved off by these pistons when they fire out. So anyway, we'll kind of burn that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, at this point I know I've probably gone over the mark again, which is yay, back on track for me. I know I always talk way too much. But yeah, if you guys liked what you saw, kind of a twofer, I guess, with the enderpearl dispenser over there and then fixing the ice farm. If you guys liked what you saw, please leave me a thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber, please do subscribe. If you do like the ice farm design, I will say this thing would work flawlessly if you happen to have a home in a cold biome, like maybe the ice spikes, or if you were in the like just a frozen taiga or something like that. Something like that where the water is all going to freeze, then this thing, the way that I've got it designed, would be absolutely awesome. So yeah, I may rebuild this thing myself at some point in time if I ever want to get a whole mess of ice. But yeah, just for your own edification, if you want to check it out, and if you do any recording, I would love to see what you come up with. So build it in a nice taiga biome. I'm not sure which video sequence it is where I build this thing, but I think I do it over 2 or 3, and like I said, eventually here I'll probably pull together a tutorial on it. But yeah, anyway, again, leave me a thumbs up if you liked what you saw, subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and I will catch you guys next time.